Hey everyone, this is Justin and welcome back to Simple Web Logic. Last week we talked about the basics of the Ruby on Rails asset pipeline. If you missed that video, you can view it on our channel and a link will be provided in the description. So today we are going further with the Ruby on Rails asset pipeline. We will be preparing the images, CSS, and JavaScript of a purchased layout for use with Ruby on Rails. So let's take a look at what the final template looks like. Okay, so we have our home page and we have a template. So we notice that the home page has a different layout than every other page. So we will have to plan for that when we do our HTML if we plan on using the home page. But we're going to focus on this style. Now we've seen what our end goal is. Let's see what we're working with on the assets. Some CSS, and we see that it's using Bootstrap, fonts, Font Awesome, images, mostly JPEGs, and some JavaScript. So we see that this is using jQuery and Bootstrap as well as Font Awesome. Now we're not going to include these from these base files. Ruby on Rails already has jQuery. And there's some great gems for both Bootstrap and Font Awesome that we'll use instead. This template should be pretty simple to do, so let's get started. What we'll do first is create a new Rails application, and I've already made one. We're going to copy everything from the img folder to app, assets, images. For our JavaScript, we're only going to copy scroll top control, wow.min, and custom.js, and we're going to put that in our app assets JavaScript folder. And last, let's look at our CSS. There's a lot of CSS, but we don't need it all. All we're going to take is our styles.css and animate.css, and we're going to copy those to the app assets style sheets folder. Now before we start modifying everything, let's get a few gems installed. We know that this template uses Bootstrap and Font Awesome, so let's get those gems installed. We'll open the gem file and add Bootstrap Sass and ensure that we have the Sass Rails gem installed. We'll also add the Font Awesome Sass gem, and now we will run bundle install in the terminal. Now that we have the Bootstrap and Font Awesome gems installed, let's modify our application.css to be application.css.scss. And we'll open it up and we will add the @import bootstrap sprockets, @import bootstrap, @import font awesome sprockets, and @import font awesome. And we'll also delete this require tree and require self. So now we have the CSS being loaded for Bootstrap and Font Awesome. At this point we can do our own CSS, but before we do that, let's go ahead and finish the Bootstrap and Font Awesome install by doing the JavaScript. I've added in jQuery UI, Bootstrap, and we'll delete the require tree, giving us more control over what is loaded, when, and where. So now we have Bootstrap and Font Awesome fully installed. So let's take a look at our own CSS. And we'll start off with the animate.css. What we want to look for is anything that is calling an image, video, font, and this file looks like it's fully capable of being run with Ruby on Rails from the get-go. So let's go ahead and move on to styles. Being that we are using the Bootstrap gem, there's some CSS rules that we just don't need. So we will find .glyph to find the first one. And we see it right here. So what we'll do is just delete all of these from line 265 all the way down to 1055. Now we'll go all the way back to the top and we will search for URL, and it'll take us to the places we need to change for our images. For this template, the first step is going to be to remove this // and the slash from the entire file. And a simple search and replace will take care of this for us. // and we just want to replace that with nothing. Now we can go ahead and close this for now. We're going to rename the styles.css file so that we can use the SCSS helpers. So styles.css will become styles.css.scss. Now let's get all those background images fixed. So we'll open it up yet again, and we will search for URL paren, and we will replace that with URL paren image-path paren and a double quote. And to complete this, we will search for .jpg and a closing paren, and we will replace that with .jpg double quote and 2 paren. If your template uses other image extensions such as PNG, you'll want to replace those as well. And that's it for this video. I hope you learned a little about how to convert the assets for a paid template to use the Ruby on Rails asset pipeline. In this video, we saw a real-world example of the Ruby on Rails asset pipeline and learned what to look for when converting a template to use within Ruby on Rails. In another video, we'll finish this series off with the creation of our template files and partials. If you liked what you saw in this video and want to see more, please be sure to subscribe to our channel, where we aim to publish a new video every week. And please be sure to also like and share our video. You can visit us on Twitter, Facebook, GitHub, and our website at simpleweblogic.com. And I've included links to these in the description below. So until next time, happy coding.